That way. Hi, everybody. We're having an extravagant night tonight. Joanne has come on board with me and is going to do my videos. We're going to talk about marriage. We're going to talk about the awakening, mainly, that we've been going through since 2011 for me. And it all started when I was journaling. Many of you know my story. When I was journaling at one time, and the Lord said to me, He said, "What do you need today, Dale?" And I said, "Well, I need this and this and this and this to take care of the ministry, or take care of my family, blah 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 blah." And He said, "You already got it." And so that I didn't understand what He meant, but now that we've gone through it since 2011, and we are now in 2025, so 14 years, and we've felt and are going through the Great Awakening. And the Great Awakening in our country today, it's political, but it's also spiritual. It's also in so many different realms in the
All the things we're learning.
right. It's the medicine world is the other one. The medicine,
Medical
the big pharma and stuff like that. So those are all there's huge things changing in our country today. But there's some personal things that are happening in us, and we want to share how we came about. Now, you know that many things and many changes in our life come from trauma. What I mean by that is when you're stuck in a corner and you don't know where to go with it, all you can do is sit on the couch and think about your problems. Well, if you get quiet enough, you can hear God tell you what the answer is.
Or higher self.
A higher self, or God, or Jesus, whatever. Spirit guides, whatever you want to call them. They all love you, and they're all on your side.
We've learned that some people are triggered when you say God.
You're right.
They have that, what do we call it, honey?
Religious.
No, when you're angry at God, you have
you have,
a wound, a God wound.
God wounds,
Yeah.
and Jesus wounds.
We're just learning about that.
We're just learning about that one, yeah. God wounds and Jesus wounds are for people that have gone through church and then had the awakening in their life of their truth. And when they get it, they feel that church and pastors and everybody else were teaching them the wrong thing.
Or they were lied to.
They were lied to, and
which they were, but they didn't do it on purpose.
I
they
went
were
through
teaching
it.
what they believed.
I went through it, and I'm dealing with it.
Yeah.
The stuff that I believed when I was in church. I was in church for 20 some odd years. I was a pastor in a recovery ministry for alcoholics, addicts,
And
incarcerated.
how many schools did you go to?
I went to 3 different Bible colleges. Right? Anyway, so we want to talk about what happened to us personally through that time. And Joanne has her view of it, and I have my view of it. And so she wanted to give her a moment to share on what was the biggest great awakening for her. What was it, Joanne?
The really big one was 2020 when Fauci came out and was saying that you had to wear a mask to prevent a virus from infecting you, which I was a medical assistant for a while, and even that's like the lowest of the lowest in the medical field. Even I learned that a mask doesn't stop a virus because it's so small, it could go right through. I mean, to stop a virus, if you're working in a biohazard lab, say you're dealing with viruses and stuff, you have to wear a hazmat suit. Like, you have to have your own air supply. I knew that as the lowliest of low in the medical field. So when I heard him saying you had to wear a hazmat suit to prevent a virus.
Sorry about that interruption.
To prevent a virus from getting into your system, you have to wear a full hazmat suit and your own air supply. So even I knew that. So when doctors were up there saying, yeah, you have to do this, and then I would go to my doctors and they were wearing masks, and then I was like, what are you doing? Like, if I had the virus and you're sitting there with the mask on, you're still going to get the virus because that ain't stopping crap. And they would go, yeah, I know, but we have to wear it, because people are scared. And I'm like, so you're just perpetuating a lie. I don't get it. I was so disillusioned because I loved the medical field. I was very interested in medicine. Like, I wanted to be a doctor at one time. And I mean, I just was like, why is everyone going along with this? What the hell's going on? And I know at that time we were still in church, and so I said, I was in prayer, but now that I know a little bit more, I know I was praying to my higher self, or I still believe there's God, and I know Jesus is still there. I understand him as an ascended master now, but I was like, what is going on? And my answer that I heard clear as day was, it's not what it seems. Which now that hindsight looking back, yeah, none of it was what it seems. It was all a lie. It was all created. It was all distorted, so we know all that. Then we know about the vax, how that was more of a lie. And even I knew that too. You cannot create a vaccine that fast. It just can't be done. So that didn't make sense at all. I'm like, whoa. My kids and my family, I was like, do not take this. I don't know what they're doing or what's going on, but it is not safe. Like, don't, and I still had some of my family do it anyway, but my kids didn't. My grandkids didn't, so they're all okay. We're okay. But that was the big thing, I think. But it really started, my life kind of took a big when we met. I had some issues with sex and relationships, and Dale's my third marriage. I'm his fourth. So we both had some issues and trust and then abandonment issues and all that kind of stuff, But I was going through a divorce. Actually, when I first met Dale, I wasn't divorced yet. We were having problems and stuff. But we both were going through divorces kind of the same time. And I worked at Sun Toyota, and that's how I met Dale. And when I met him, I was kind of at my rock bottom. I had an affair, cheated on my husband. Thought I would never ever do that because my first husband cheated on me, and I knew the pain of that. But I had been very promiscuous, and almost, except my first marriage. But after that, after my husband cheated on me and I went through that, I had a lot of issues. And when I met Dale, I was really rock bottom. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I was like, why did I do that? I don't understand. I understand a lot more now that, before we even come to Earth, we choose our life plan. We choose the big things that we want to experience. So obviously I chose before I came here to be cheated on, to be a cheater, to experience all that pain and trauma. And now I look at it differently than I did then. I take it for what it is. It was an experience. It was learning, what I don't want, what I do want. And at that point when we first got together, I was like, I don't want to be this person anymore. I have no desire to be promiscuous, to get my kudos from a man, because I used to wear the low-cut shirts and do all that for attention. And if we went out and I didn't get somebody's attention, I had a shitty night. If I didn't get anybody hitting on me or calling me sexy or wanting my phone number, that wasn't a good night to me, because that's how I got my kudos. That's how I got my self-worth, was from men telling me that I look great or that I'm sexy, or and that need for that attention got bigger and bigger and bigger until it caused me to have an affair. And it wasn't because I didn't love him, because I did. He was a great guy, didn't deserve what I did, and I lost him, and I hurt him really badly, and I hurt my kids. I hurt his family, and his family was like my family. I mean, I love them to death. And I went through a lot of trauma, a lot of heartache, a lot of guilt, a lot of shame from all that. And I didn't want to be that person. So my big awakening is when we first met. What year was that, baby? Like
2012.
2012 is when I sat on the couch and cried isn't even the word for it. It was like, have you ever cried so hard? It's like, it's coming from you feel like it's your soul. Like you're like, I don't know what's happening to me right now, but it was, something changed that day. I became a different person. I really did. It was very spiritual. I was all by myself, and that was the first time I really went inside and said, what am I doing? Why am I here? What's going on, you know? And from that time to 2020, so many things changed. So much stuff in our relationship. I learned who I was, you know, who I wanted to be.
We're still learning that one.
Yeah, until you die, you're going to be learning yourself. But I did understand that I didn't want to be the person I was, that I wanted to be a different person. And I wanted to be the person that my kids thought I was, you know. And I became that person, I believe.
So the traumas, even though the ones you've caused and the ones that are caused to you and by you and for many years, the Spirit is still used. Papa is still used to help you, right?
Yes.
So, and now you can help others with it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell people that are going through an affair, or maybe they're the ones cheating, or they're the ones being cheated on. And, when my first husband cheated on me, I was young. I was in my 20s, and I thought it was just because he didn't love me anymore. He just doesn't love me. He wants somebody else. Well, when you're the cheater, and I understood differently now that you can love somebody with your whole heart and still cheat because you're messed up.
There's something going on with you, yeah.
Yeah, it's not the
it's not
person
them.
that you cheat on. It's not their fault. They didn't do anything wrong. But your inside is telling you that they're not enough. You need more and more and more attention. And I was basically a sex addict. I was never satisfied with what I had. I needed more validation. I needed more attention, until I learned that everything I needed, everything I desired was already inside me. All I had to do is go within, and that's when meditation, and we started watching shows on YouTube and buying books, and, we learned.
We did shadow work because we got to deal with who we are and who we think we are.
Your traumas.
There's three things I've told you in the past. You got to deal with we got to deal with who you think God is, or the Spirit is, or the Heavenly Father, or Jesus. You got who is that to you? Is he
is he judging?
Is he judging you all the time? Is he picking you apart? Is he critical? No. So, and the other one was your view of yourself. Who do you think you are? All right, who in a nice way, but I mean, who do you think you are? If you think you're a dirty, rotten sinner, or you're a sex addict, or a drunk addict, whatever thing you believe in your heart you are, you're going to stay there until you deal with your identity. And the last one is, who do you think God thinks you are?
Yeah,
that's a little different than the first one. Who you think God is, and who do you think God thinks you are? And if those three things can change in your life, oh my, we've been working on that since 2011.
Yeah.
So she thought she was a worthless piece of crap, and
I didn't think I was worthy to.
No, not worthy. No. So I've had to deal with this stuff with her for the last 14 years, right?
Yeah.
No, 12 years. 12
and
years.
I looked for reasons for anything he did that I deemed as wrong.
It was self-sabotage for her, yeah.
He doesn't love me. I might as well leave.
I couldn't tell her I loved her. And there was no way. I told her I loved her, and she didn't believe a word I said. She still struggles with it today.
No, I believe you love me. Why? I don't know. But the whole process started with me wanting to change who I was.
Right.
Who I perceived myself to be. I didn't want to be the person that I was being for my kids, for myself, for my family. I wanted to be that person who I know I really was inside, which was a loving, caring, kind, generous family. I love my family, my kids, my grandkids, my husband, my brothers, my sisters. They mean everything to me. I realize that relationships and family are the most important things in life. I think one of the big reasons we come here is to experience family, and I wanted to cherish mine and be with them as much as I could and do what I could for them, and if at all possible to teach them from the things I went through, that they could learn from me and not have to go through those things themselves, you know. And I've kind of instilled in my girls, don't ever be a cheater. And if your husband does cheat on you, forgive him, because it doesn't mean that he doesn't love you. Whether you stay together or not, forgive him, you know. Because some people, you know, it may be time to move on. It might be part of the process, what you're coming here to do. But, you know, if all possible, you know, because they both have kids, I would want them to try to work it out. And for him, you know, if he cheats on, their husband cheats on them, they get help. And they understand, you know. And maybe sometimes people don't want to change, and they don't think there's anything wrong with that. And that's fine. And they're in a process. And, you know, we've got to be observers and not judge things. Just say, okay.
That's one of the greatest things we've been learning.
Yeah.
And me before her, I read a book on how to stop the pain, and it was about judgment, about how you judge everybody else, and it causes pain in situations. It causes pain between those two people. Yeah. Like if you had the insecure issues she's had for that I've been married to Joanne, is that, you know, I would come home late, or maybe a phone call or a text message. Her first thought is, because her abandonment issues, it was another woman. That's the first thing she thought, was another woman. I can barely handle her, so I can't handle another one. So anyway, we decided to just keep moving forward in that area.
Figured out religion.
Well, there was one thing that we found out, because we have a purpose to come here, and since she's already mentioned that there's already a plan before you come, long story, another subject for another time, but we believe that people are put together because I push her buttons and she pushes my buttons. Both are insecure buttons, because we need to grow and get past that. So the first thing is awareness. Awareness that the things she'd been put in my life to push my buttons, right? To push my buttons and to show my insecurities, so I can deal with them on the inside. I can go and get a loan and go deal with them, rather than, you know, going to a counselor or whatever, which counselor's not bad. Some people need them. I just realized that after 20 years of ministry and counseling all those men, that I felt how I can go inside. Because in your Bible, it tells you go inside. It's in you. Your answers are in you. Your life is in you. His life is in you, so you can have a good life. And that's why he's there. So anyway, that's one of the things, is we have to go in. And when you get caught in a corner, like I said earlier, you get caught in a corner, you got to learn how to go inside and get quiet. You heard her a few minutes ago, Joanne a minute ago, it goes, she was alone in the house. Get alone. Get by yourself. If you've seen some of my other past videos, I talk about being alone, journaling and meditating and praying, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter to me. You have to get alone and be quiet, so you can listen to God in you in you, your higher self in you.
What I think helps is asking a question.
Asking a question, right.
My desire was, I don't want to be this person anymore.
Right.
I don't want to, what do I need to do? Like, please help me. Please help me understand why I did this. Please help me understand how to not do this again.
Right.
How do I change my thinking, my desire to need this kind of attention, because I don't want that attention anymore.
So sometimes those answers will come to her quickly. There's an answer right after she thinks, and she stops, and she hears the voice of God. Or, you know, I keep saying that, I apologize, but some people on here are not religious, some people are, and I just want to kind of cover all the bases that I can to make everybody happy. But the thing is, we get quiet. We hear that voice on the inside. Yeah, this will call it the Spirit. We hear the Spirit in us tell us the answer. And in that answer is where you need to do, or where you need to go, or what you
sometimes that answer, you don't get the full thing.
Right.
You know, you're not ready. At that time, at that point, I was a basket case. I couldn't handle a lot. He just started, I'm going to cry, but the Spirit just showed me love. It didn't matter what I did. It just mattered that I wanted to change. that I realized, hey, this is enough. I can't keep being this person. I kind of look in the mirror, and then he told me about this thing where you look in the mirror and tell yourself you love you. Oh my God, I couldn't. I just cried. He's like, how'd it go? I was like, I can't do it. Because I didn't love myself. And that was the first thing I really learned was I was doing all this stuff for attention because I didn't know who I was. I didn't realize that I need to love myself.
Yeah, that's the key to everything. You've seen my videos. I got a whole slew of videos on loving yourself and what to do,
And when I learned to do that, that didn't happen very fast. So it took years and really
it takes time. Be patient with yourself, please.
Yeah, up until about 2 years ago. I mean, I still am learning things like every day, but I've come a long way. And the love of myself was really hard. Forgiving myself. Wow. That's a big one. When you do something and you wreck your life, like I came in like a wrecking ball, that was me. I just took it all out, and when you do a complete, just knock the whole Lego house down, you know what I mean? Flat, nothing left. There's nothing else you can do but start over. And I was like, I'm done. I don't want to, I give up. I don't want to do that again.
Surrender, right?
I did. I surrendered. Right? And I was like, something's got to change. And that's when, the Spirit showed me, you've got to love yourself. You're not loving yourself. And I kept thinking I needed to be forgiven. And then I learned, you came here to experience that. There's nothing to forgive. You did exactly what your soul had come here to do. So that was mind-blowing, knowing that everything I've went through was my own desire to learn
and to change
and experience these things. It was like, the heck did I want to do that for? That sucked,
So one of the times we have was when in 2018, when we were about to lose our business, so in a time of trial and struggle, whether it be divorce, whether it be something, there's a time you just get quiet and you ask the Spirit again. And so this is like a continuing thing in our lives. So back in 2018, it was one morning, I was sitting on my couch and we had a big couch. And on the couch, started watching YouTube videos all the time. But one morning I woke up and I said, I don't know what to do. God, I have no idea what to do. Spirit, help me. And the Spirit said this. He told me to use Google, believe it or not. He told Google the power of a decision. I said, okay. So I Googled the power of a decision. And this movie came up called The Secret. And it changed my life. But I had a lot of religious stuff in me. All right, still a lot of religious stuff. And so I turned it off like 6 or 7 times. And the Spirit told me to turn it back on again. So I turned it back on again. And The Secret in 2018 changed my life. One of the things I learned was the words you're saying, the words you're speaking, and the things you're thinking.
Law of attraction.
Law of attraction. And Joanne and I were not talking to each other.
We were about to get divorced.
We were about to get divorced. We were walking away from everything. And we didn't know what to do with our lives. I didn't know what to do. So when you're in that trauma, you got to ask, right? And then the answer comes. Anyway, I watched the movie. And about a third, maybe 2/3 of the way through the movie, there was a conflict of a marriage. And I was like, And it was from the woman's perspective. And she was going to leave him because he was such an idiot. And he was mean. And he's throwing things. And he was angry. I wasn't there. But it was just they weren't getting along. So she was going to leave him, divorce him. But the Spirit told her, said, listen, write down 10 positive things about your husband. So she did. And the Spirit said for her to recite them every morning. And so she did. And her marriage dramatically changed within a matter of a week. that all the good things, if you focus on all the negative things in a person, those negative things will stay alive.
They increase.
They increase. So if you go and focus on the good things in that person's life, those will increase.
Yeah.
So I wrote down 10 things about my beautiful wife at that time, and I wrote them all down and recited them, and within 3 days we were back together again, loving each other all over. It was amazing. There's a long drawn out story more about it. It's in my.
And I didn't know he was doing that.
She didn't know I was doing it. See, that's a key thing, guys. You got quiet, because just be quiet. You know the biggest reason why I didn't want to. If it didn't work, then what the hell was I going to do, right? So I said, no, I'm not going to do it. So it worked. So the words I was saying, the thoughts I was thinking, it puts off a negative vibration, as you learned. But vibration in the Bible is basically attitude. When you have a bad attitude, the other person feels it. There's a vibration in there. So that's how it's connected.
A frequency.
A frequency, yeah. So I can tell you how I can take the Bible and go metaphysical with it and vice versa. So,
think about this. Have you ever met somebody, been around somebody, and it's the first time you ever met them, you don't know their story, you don't know anything, but you're like, I just got to get away from this person. Right. I don't feel right around this person. I feel something's off with them, or something's not right, or, and what it is
it's your intuition.
Their frequency is low, and you're picking up on that low vibration, and those low vibrations attract negative things. So the reason you're wanting to get away with that is your frequency is that energy of that person is affecting your energy, and that's why you want to get away from them. And that's okay. That's fine. That's your intuition telling you,
yeah,
get out of here. This, there's things going on with this person. It doesn't mean that they're bad necessarily. It could be just a very depressed person. It could be a very sad person. Doesn't mean they're bad, but. And
you don't need that in your life at that time.
It's because you're just not.
Right.
Now when you get to a certain level and you're around somebody like that, you might, like we've learned through like quantum physics and things like that quantum entanglement, you can affect somebody else's energy with your energy.
Right.
You can help raise their vibration. So when you get to a point like that, you can look at somebody and go in and just see their energy rise. Just pour love onto them. Just feel your heart open. Let your heart open. And just let your love. Just think of it as like a white light just going out from my heart, spreading. And I could fill up a whole room. I could fill up the state of Florida. I could fill up the United States. I could fill it up to the world. When I want to just fill, a person with love. And, sometimes you can see them smile. You can see them laugh. I've done it with people at a restaurant, at a different table. I might overhear something or just feel that, and I'm like, I'll tell him, I'm like, there's something going on with that person over there. I just feel, and he's like, what do you feel? What do you feel? I was like, I'm not sure, but I'm just going to send them love, because I don't have to know what's going on. I could just send love, and
Well, Joanne saw that firsthand when she met me first. If you didn't know that I ran a ministry for 15 years called the Center of Hope, and I just loved on these guys. I loved on them. I accepted them the way they were. They're all addicts. They're all the mishaps of life. People didn't want them in their church, and so I would take them on and bring them on and help them and love them. So I did it for 15 years. But the thing was, when Joanne met me, one of the things she said, and I was really surprised. But what did you see when, after a while of hanging around me and hanging around the ministry, what did you see?
It's kind of why I fell in love with you.
Really?
Yeah. Because I'm going to cry again. These guys were just like, they're at the lowest point of their lives, They're just most of them just out of prison, or they had to be mandatory put in this program, and, kind of like their last shot. And these guys were pretty rough. Some of them were just crude attitudes, Some of them were very humbled. Some of them were very kind. But
it didn't matter whoever they were, whatever they were going through. He just like loved on them, man. He'd like come up to him and go, "Love you, man. How you doing? Doing a good job. You're doing all right." And I was just like,
tell a guy who hates himself that he loves that you love him. Oh man, it
so
blows
hard.
him away. It messes him up.
Yeah,
messes him up sideways.
But I mean, he genuinely cared for these people. Like, I remember one time we were in Colorado, and I forgot what Curtis had called you, and he was like the leader.
Curtis was
of
the
house.
second in charge of my ministry at the time. Well, I'd say he was there. It was a combination of a couple of good, great guys. Yeah.
And anyway, he gave us a call and said like one of the guys had been going through something, and Dale was like, really? Oh man, He gets off the phone and he's like his head's down, and I'm like, what happened? And he explained everything, and so we're like, well, we were in the religious realm then. So I was like, well, let's pray for him. But prayer is the same thing. You're
sending out good thoughts,
caring and trying to elevate that other person and love on them. And so I mean, I saw it. Nobody knew that what he was saying to me, or that we were praying for him. And I just realized he was genuine. Like, he really cared about these guys. It wasn't it was real, And when I first met him, I was like, oh, he runs a ministry. It's like, I didn't know him that well, so I was like, I don't know. But as I was around him more and around the guys, and then I was like, man, he really cares about these guys, And I mean, there were times when I remember we had rented a house, and the rent on the property where the guys were, that would get paid first, and
that's another video if you want to watch that. It was wrong, but it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's still love, right? So.
Yeah, but he really genuinely made sure that those guys were taken care of. He went out of his way to make sure they enjoyed Christmas and holidays, and that they knew that they were loved while they were there. So
we say all that is that vibration, that love, that you can put it in any metaphysical way you want, you put it in any biblical way you want, but that was sending love to those guys, and they received it when they received it, and when they did, it changed their lives from the inside out. And that's how when I married Joanne. Before I married Joanne, she was being a masseuse at the Sun Toyota in Holiday, and
massage.
She was doing chair massage.
They didn't have a table out there.
It didn't have a table, no. So in the chair massage, and she was doing, and the Spirit told me to tell her that she was a good mom. I didn't know why. We had not talked about that at all.
Yeah.
So I spoke to her.
My son was in jail. Just went to jail.
Prison.
Just found out my daughter was pregnant, and she was using. I was a mess.
Both of them were addicts. Yeah. So what I did was the Spirit told me to tell her she's a good mom. She lost it, dude. Yeah. She lost it.
I did not feel like
she ran away to the bathroom, and she couldn't handle it. Yeah. See? So that was like the guys that I had in the ministry. I just listened to the Spirit, and they would tell me, Elohim would tell me that I would tell them what they need to know. Is it prophetic, they say in the Bible? Yeah. Is it intuition? You could say outside the Bible? Yeah. We all have it. We all have that loving feeling, right? So
I have spirit guides help us.
Spirit guide, yeah.
Angels help us, yeah.
Angels, spirit guides.
Yeah. They're all helping us.
So we say all this tonight as our first video. We're probably about 30 minutes in now. I just want to share with you some of our stuff we've been through over the last 14 years and how we've dramatically changed. And the first step I told you was make sure you can hear the Spirit, make sure you hear God, whatever you want to call him, and make sure you know when he's talking back to you. Journaling was one of the greatest things I learned how to do. That was like I was so quiet that I could figure out the voice speaking to me, that it was God and not myself. Anyway, so we say all that to just say, come and join us. We want to help you. Everything we're in our 50s now, so everything, all the junk we've been through, and I've had 4 marriages, she's had 3, we can help you. So, right, honey?
Yeah. But that was the beginning of our awakening, but then we realized, we started deep diving. I was crazy. I was crazy. I did all the rabbit holes, the medical system, the school system, our government, other governments, the Illuminati stuff.
All of it, yeah.
The child sacrifice stuff.
It's all part of the Great Awakening, yeah.
All that, I learned all that stuff within months after 2020 happened, while we were at home, and it was rough. They what do they say when you're ignorance is bliss?
Ignorance is not bliss. Mm-mm.
But
Well, it is bliss in the sense that
when you're going through awakening, you were like, oh,
Yeah.
I wish I didn't know all this
Yeah,
stuff.
some
It's
stuff
like,
you don't want to know.
It's so
you don't
hard.
want to know.
I cried. I used to wake up. He'd be like, well, stop looking, stop reading that crap. And
All the
you know,
children they're stealing around the world
all
for
the trafficking,
all the
and
trafficking and
it just,
stuff. It blew her away.
It wrecked me.
You see,
you know?
honey, you can't do nothing about it right now
Yeah.
at this moment. So just chill away, all right?
But I learned
Right.
that it's just by love.
Yeah.
It's by love. It's not by judging. It's not by condemning. It's by love, and that's the only thing we have. And it's also by awakening and transforming yourself from the inside out. Dealing with your trauma, dealing with your stuff, is the way we raise the vibration
That's
of
right.
the whole planet.
Whole planet.
We work on ourselves. That's what we can do.
It's all about love, people.
Yeah.
Loving each other.
And you know what? That's who every single soul is at their core. We're love. We come here in love. We leave in love.
We want to talk about something later on in another video about NDEs, near-death experiences. Talk about people that have been through the veil and they've come back. They went
I was
home
this
and
close.
came back. And Joanne almost died. She had a heart attack back on August 16th, 3 days after my freaking birthday. Right? Happy birthday, Dale. But anyway, sorry.
Intuition has gotten a lot stronger.
Intuition
since
got
that.
stronger, both of
Yeah.
us, yeah. So we can hear it. But the point is, she had a near-death experience. We were reading about them. We're following them now on YouTube, and it's amazing. It is. They are amazing. They are life-changing all by themselves.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we love you, and we want to talk more. So, come subscribe. Let's go have some fun, and you can DM us if you're on any other platforms, and we can talk to you if you need help in life. If you're addicted today, I did it for 20 years. I can help you. Okay? Listen, you don't have an addiction problem. You have an identity problem. You think you're a piece of shit, and you're not. You're an awesome, awesome person.
Just need to deal with the trauma.
And you're
you got.
loved. Right. Deal with the trauma, what caused it.
learn how to love yourself.
And learn how to love yourself, and your life will
And
change
forgive
dramatically.
yourself.
Forgiving yourself.
I know all about
Get
it.
rid of the shame. Shame is a killer, you know? Anyway.
And also learning to deal with things as they come up and not keep pushing
Yeah,
stuff
keep pushing
down.
it down, yeah.
That's when then you erupt and yeah.
And that's part of the awakening. You know, your eyes are open a little bit at a time. So
And that's why when things trigger us, you know, he says something or does something. Hey, what are you eating? Are you gonna eat all that? Didn't you just eat something?
I ain't said that in years, people.
So that would trigger me. Oh,
Yeah.
he thinks I'm fat. Oh, you think I'm fat?
See?
That was me. So I had to say, why does that keep bothering me when he says stuff
That's
like
the way
that?
to do it.
You have to right away before you blow up and have a whole fight. And he's going, huh? What? I was just wondering what you're eating, you know? Like, I might can I have some? Do we have any more? You know, but no, when your mind isn't right, it's, oh, he's saying I'm fat. So you've got to learn when things come up. You know, what'd you buy at the store? Why'd you buy that? Da da da. Oh, he thinks I'm not allowed to spend no money. He doesn't care. You know, no, go, why does that trigger me? Why does that make me upset? So now instead of blowing up, that doesn't mean I don't, sometimes I say stuff still, but I'm trying to not judge that, go within and go, why did that bother me? Why did that hurt me? What wound is inside of me that I need to heal? Because that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because honestly, when you're the higher your vibration, the less things bother you. You know, this one with the driving, people can pull out in front of me, and I was like, "Whoa, okay, slow down." You know, this one.
I think I'm going to turn the video off now because I don't want that. My driving's great, people. She's crazy. All right, we love you.
Love and light.
Love and light. Be good and subscribe, follow, whatever you want to do, and join the family. We love you. Have a great night.